Okay, I'm trying this out for the first time, so being in front of my bookshelf here. This is my bookshelf. All the books. Thing though about it is that these front ones that are here are not the only ones that are on the shelf. There's actually a row of books behind there, so yeah, I need to get a new bookshelf. And plus, they're all books around me right now because I'm trying to redo my bookshelf and there's not enough on the shelf. Hey, what's up everybody? As you can tell by this title of the video that this is going to be my May book haul. I'm so happy that I'm finally giving out a book haul, finally. I've been on a book buying ban for the last 2 months. Yes, 2 months, and once May hit, I was like off to the book buying, and I was enjoying myself. I went a little bit over the top. It kind of jacked up my credit card just a little bit. Yeah, so I guess in future book hauls now I'm not going to buy that many books anymore. So, and a lot of the books that I do plan on getting in the future will probably be all new releases. So a lot of these books I bought at Barnes and Nobles, and these books you might have known because some are new releases, some are kind of books that everybody is talking about, and books that I just seemed interested in. So the first book I actually got at a rummage sale instead, and this was actually for $1. I've been actually wanting to get this book, and that is called Petals on the Wind by V.C. Andrews. Now I know, as you can tell by the cover of this video, I know there's a little bit of a glare. There we go. This is the older edition of the book. I was planning on getting the newer edition so they can match my first one. So this is the first book. I forgot what the series is called, but this is the first book and this is the second book. And these books are becoming a little bit hyped up because the Lifetime Network is making a movie out of them. And I've seen the Flowers in the Attic movie, but I have not seen the Petals on the Wind. The Petals on the Wind came out just recently, but I said I kind of want to read these books before I kind of finish up watching the movies. They are doing all the series into the movies. It doesn't really bother me that they're not in the same format. I don't mind the whole paperback hardcover thing, even though I do kind of prefer the hardback. What bothers me more is the cover of the book. So even though I don't really like this cover very much, I mean, it was for $1 on sale, so I was like, why not get it for cheaper anyway? So, and it's in good condition too. This next book I have is a book that just exploded off BookTube, and the Book Explosion group made this as a book of the month, and they all liked it, and I said, you know what, I'm going to get it for myself, and that is Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. This just really sounded interesting to me. It is about a girl who is a Southern belle, and I got a feeling when I'm going to read this book, I'm going to be reading it in a Southern accent, because that's what I do whenever there's a book, like a British book. Yeah, British people, I just talk in that accent for some reason. But she's a Southern belle, and she gets encountered by this janitor, and he tells her that she is something different or something like that, and she has to protect this guy, and she ends up falling in love with this guy. So I heard it's pretty funny to read, so I can't wait to read this ASAP. I'll probably read this pretty soon, hopefully. Next two books are part of a series that I really, really want to get into. The first book is called The Iron King by Maurice Drawn. Sorry if I'm butchering that last name of yours. Yes, the reason why I want to get this is because they have this little blurb up here. This is by George R.R. Martin. He is the author of the Song of Ice and Fire series, which is my favorite. But his little blurb up here, this is the original Game of Thrones. So it's like, that's what got me to buy this. It's about this Iron King named Philip the Fair. He is cold and silent and handsome and unblinking as a statue. He governs his realm with an iron hand, but he cannot rule his own family. His sons are weak and their wives adulterous, adulterous, while his red-blooded daughter Isabel is unhappily married to an English king who prefers the company of men. So there seems a lot going on here. The series in here is called The Accursed Kings, and this was the only one they had on the shelf at Barnes & Noble. And I kind of made a little bit mistake here because I thought this was actually the sequel to The Iron King. The book I got is The Poison Crown, which is part of the series. But as I was looking in the title page, it says Book 3 of The Accursed King. So I got the first one and the third one. I did not see this was the only other books that was there. So I don't have the second book of the series, which kind of pissed me off a little bit. Okay, this book is, I think, a debut novel. Let's see this. Yes. Yes, this book is a debut novel, and I kind of want to get into the whole finding books stories that have fairies in them. And apparently I seem to be getting only the ones that have the bad fairies in it. I don't have any. I don't think I have any good fairies. So if you have a suggestion, I would like a suggestion. If you guys know any good stories that have good fairies in it, let me know. But this book I got has fairies in it, and these are the bad fairies in them. And they're just called The Falconer by Elizabeth May. I really, really like the cover of this. It's really nice and smooth here, and it just intrigued me just a little bit. What this book is about this girl who's kind of living a double life. This one life she has like everything a girl can want. She has wealth, she has a title, like a princess, and she's very, very beautiful as well. But this other life she lives, she is what you call a slayer. Kind of not Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but kind of like a warrior slayer or something like that. She has this ability where she can sense the fae. She sees a fae. There is a title for it, but I can't really pronounce it here. Oh, these fairies in here. They're very obsessed with slaughtering humans, which is like, okay, this could be a little bit disturbing at that, but her job is actually to slay the fairies. And the reason why this is a kind of a secret life for her, she can't really tell anybody about it. It looks real interesting. I can't wait to read this, and I hope this is better than another series that I just recently read. This is set in the 1800s, 1844. Sucks when you're sitting down on the floor and your leg starts falling asleep. Next book is a book I really wanted to get as well, and that is called Sea of Shadows by Kelly Armstrong. I have never read anything by Kelly Armstrong. I have seen like other series that she has written, and they're mostly like paranormal fantasy books. But this being the most recent, I thought I'd start kind of get into this series. And this one has spirits in them, and apparently people have to obey them. So I saw a review that Cassidy Boucher, I'm sorry if I'm ruining her name there, but she did a review and she liked it, and I'm like, well, I might as well like it, or I hope I like it as well. This next book I have is a series I really, really want to get into. I've seen a lot of booktubers have read this or have just recently bought this, but I got a feeling like I know I'm gonna love this series for some reason, and that is A Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This kind of has a feel to a Game of Thrones feel to it, and Hunger Games. And of course this is the paperback edition, which it doesn't really mind. Like I said, I don't really care for the whole hardback paperback thing. What bothers me is the whole cover thing, and this cover I like better than the hardcover. I don't have the second book yet, The Crown of Midnight, because Barnes & Noble didn't have it, so I'm going to have to order it. But I did buy the novellas. The bind-up of the novellas called The Assassin's Blade, which is the bind-up of 5 novellas, and I Love this cover as well. And I think I'm going to read that before I read Throne of Glass. So I can't wait. I'm too excited. Okay, these next two books I got, they go together. I think this is like a duology thing. And the first book is called Eon by Alison Goodman. Oh my god, this cover is just so amazing. So just... Now I'm also trying to find books that have dragons in it because, you know, I love a fan. Me being a fantasy, I just gotta have to read a fantasy with dragons in it, right? I also bought Iona, which is the second book. I was laughing to myself when I was reading the back here. I just had a little bit of a moment. It says, for years, Eon's life has been focused on a magical study and sword work with one goal, that he be chosen as a dragon eye, an apprentice to one of the 12 energy dragons of good fortune. But Eon has a dangerous secret. He is actually Iona, a 16-year-old girl who has been masquerading as a 12-year-old boy. And I was like, okay, are we having a little bit of a mistaken identity crisis here? And then me having a blonde moment, I was like, I got it. Okay, I got it. I can't get over these covers. These covers just look so amazing. As you probably know by now, I am obsessed with Game of Thrones. I know you're probably sick and tired of me saying this, but I did buy a graphic novel of the Game of Thrones, and I got the third volume of this, and this is the latest one that just recently came out. So I have not read all of them yet. I do have the first two, which is what's up there. I probably will read this until I think December, because the Yearthon is making this graphic novel month, or mangas, both I think. So I'll probably read that until December. I pretty much know what it's about because I've read the books and they're pretty much the same. I might as well get this one in too. Okay, so for this book, I got this at a different kind of edition to the one I have. The one I have is in hardcover, and the book I'm talking about is The Dance of Dragons, A Dance with Dragons by George R.R. Martin. I have not read this yet, so I have got to get going on this. I like the whole big paperback edition rather than the small. And the one I have in hardcover, the dust jacket is kind of worn and torn just a little bit, and so I thought I could thought I could buy it in this edition. I want to catch up of what is going on. I have seen what was going on in the show, and I'm just like, I think I'm getting spoiled. This next book was very highly anticipated for this year, and for one of the videos, I read the novella of this, and I said I really didn't like the outcome of the novella, so I was like, I don't know if I'm really anticipated on reading this or not. The book I'm talking about is Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. This is Danielle Page's new debut novel, and I think this is the first book of a trilogy she's doing. Of course, is pretty much the aftermath. I don't think this is really a remake. It could be a remake or a reboot, not a retelling of The Wizard of Oz. I think this is, like I said, this is a continuation, I think, after The Wizard of Oz. This is about Dorothy being back in Oz and taking over the land of Oz because the power of it just goes to her head, and the main character in the story is now, her mission is to kill Dorothy. I'm really hesitant to read this because I've always loved The Wizard of Oz. I just feel like it doesn't really need to change or something or continue, or I don't know how I'm gonna feel, but maybe once I read this book, we'll see how it goes. If you guys have not seen the inside jacket, I just recently saw this. Gunshot! This next book I got is a epic fantasy book that I want to get into. It is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. As you can tell, this is the big paperback edition type book. I've been wanting to get this type in format better than like a hardcover or just a very small paperback. I like this kind of format better, I'm saying. I don't think I really, I think it might be very hard to kind of explain what it is, because there's just so much detail going on, and so it's so in-depth and complex, I think. And I just can't wait to start reading it. I have read a Brandon Sanderson for this year, which I liked it, but I think I would like this a lot better. This book has came out just recently in the beginning of the month, and I've been actually wanting to get it because I read this series, and that is James Patterson Unlucky 13, also written with Maxine Petro. This is the only series that I love from James Patterson. I have read like the first books of his young adults, like the Maximum Ride series and The Witch and Wizard, but I didn't really get into those series. Didn't really like them. Yeah, so this series I love more than his other series, and this is basically about the Women's Murder Club. That's what the series is called. Basically about these four women with kind of different occupations. You got one is a detective, another is a medical examiner, third one is a prosecutor, and the fourth one is a crime reporter. I have read this already, so with this one it was a little bit gruesome, just a little bit. But it was really good. I'll explain it more in my wrap up. I'm still kind of getting the significance of the black cat here. Maybe it's, oh, it says for the Women's Murder Club, this is more than bad luck, this is murder. So that's probably what the black cat is about. Okay, next book I got is a sequel to the book I have already. You might not know this. This is not really a hyped up book on BookTube, but I wanted to get this because it is a very good kind of suspense thriller type of book, and that is The Bourne Supremacy by Robert Ludlum. I have the first I have the first book, The Bourne Identity. Now I want to get into the series because I really, really love the movies with Matt Damon in it, but I've never read this yet, so I'm sure there's a lot more going on in the books rather than in the movies. The first three books, they have been written by Robert Ludlum, but then they continue on the series with a different author because Robert Ludlum kind of died back in 2001. This next book I got is The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, also known as J.K. Rowling, as we all know. This is her first crime novel. The reason why I wanted to get this is because I decided I'm going to pick this as my June month for my book club, and because it just looks really good. I've been wanting to get this since apparently J.K. Rowling has been discovered. What this book is about is, let me read the blurb here, or the synopsis. When a troubled supermodel falls to her death from the balcony of her London home, it is assumed that she has committed suicide. However, her brother has his doubts and calls in private detective Corman Strike to investigate. Strike is a war veteran wounded both physically and psychologically, and his private life is in disarray. The case gives him a financial lifeline, but it comes at a personal cost. The more he delves into the young model's world, the darker things get and the closer he comes to terrible danger. So, I like mystery novels with suspense and thrill in it, so I hopefully will love this book, and if I do, I'll probably get the second one. The second one I think is coming out pretty soon. I don't know when. Or I'll put it up here what date it is, and here's the date. That is all the books I got, I believe. There is one book, I think I mentioned this in the beginning of the video. There is one book that I have not gotten yet. It is The City of Heavenly Fire. I am getting it in the mail. I don't have it yet. It's, okay, I'm filming this on a Thursday, and it came out on Friday, so I better get it tomorrow, hopefully, because I really want to start reading this. This week I have not read any books, so this is the first week I have not read anything at all. So those are the books that I have gotten for the month of May. Like I said in the beginning of the video, that for the future book hauls, I'm not going to be buying a lot of books. There'll probably be mostly new releases I'll buy. I have pre-ordered some of them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So let me know if you guys have read any of these books or do plan on reading these books. Would love to hear about it. Maybe we do a read along or something. My information is down below. I have my Goodreads, my Twitter, and I also post books on my Instagram as well. So please follow me if you can. And please subscribe as well. Really appreciate it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye!